I recently made a video on the best and worst ships in each Star Wars movie, and by far the most controversial take in it at the time of writing this seems to be placing the Commerce Guild's Recusant-class light destroyer as the worst ship in Revenge of the Sith. So, let's take a closer look at it and see if we can see what makes it so popular. I am Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is the Recusant. Design. The Recusant-class light destroyer was a product of Horsch-Kessel Drive Inc. and the Free DAC Volunteers Engineering Corps. It was a long, skeletal ship with a pointed bow, extremely narrow aft section, and a forest of antennas along its spine. At its rear were three large rectangular engine clusters arranged in a triangular formation around its main core, and it had numerous large turbolasers along its body. Like many other Separatist capital ships, it had a large elevated command bridge towards the front of the ship. Internally, the ship was fairly bare bones. It was largely automated, and was typically controlled by an onboard droid brain. While this allowed the ship to get away with a crew a fraction the size of its main competitors, it also gave it a very slow reaction time, and it gained a reputation for colliding with friendly ships in battle because of this. Furthermore, the droid brain was quite stubborn, and would continue to fire on the same ship until it was destroyed or disabled, even if another vessel emerged that would be a more lucrative target, or a bigger threat to the Recusant. This meant that the Recusant was an easy victim for most Republic ships in the heat of battle. In a one-on-one duel, though, this droid ship was extremely dangerous, and Separatist naval doctrine meant that Recusants were almost never deployed in groups of less than 4. 4 to 6 Recusants could easily destroy a single Venator, though those rarely flew solo either. Specifications. Bizarrely, the Recusant came in two very different sizes, one nearly twice as large as the other. The original Recusant measured 1,187 meters long by 157 meters wide and 163 meters tall, while the larger version was a whopping 2,542 meters long by 390 meters wide and 470 meters tall. Both versions of the ship had a Class II hyperdrive with a 30,000 light-year range, and an unknown top atmospheric speed, perhaps something like 850 kilometers per hour. It was armed with one prow heavy turbolaser cannon, 4 additional heavy turbolaser cannons, 5 regular turbolaser cannons, 6 heavy turbolaser turrets, 12 dual light laser cannons, and 60-point defense laser cannons. Both ships carried an unknown number of Vulture droid starfighters in the hollow spaces of its outer hull shell, and the larger version had a small hangar for larger shuttles amidships on either side, as well as a docking clamp for a C-9979 landing craft on its bottom. Despite their enormous sizes, and the enormous size discrepancy between them, both versions of the ship required only 300 crew. These were normally droids like the ship itself, but it would occasionally have an organic command staff. The ship could also carry 40,000 deactivated battle droids as passengers. These were intended for use in boarding actions against other ships rather than for planetary invasions, but the larger model could potentially load some of them into its landing craft if it was equipped with one. The ship also had a cargo capacity of 10,000 tons, and could carry 2 years of consumables, including fuel. The price of the Recusant was valued at 61 million credits, though which size this price refers to is unclear. History. The Recusant-class destroyer had a somewhat unusual origin. The ship was based on blueprints created by the Mon Calamari, which were stolen by Quarren separatists and provided to the Commerce Guild and Trade Federation sometime before the Clone Wars. The Quarren and Mon Calamari species shared a planet, but the former sided with the Separatists in the Clone Wars, while the latter stayed with the Republic, creating tension between the two that resulted in the industrial espionage that spawned this ship. One has to wonder if it would have ended up looking more like a typical Mon Cal cruiser without the spindly rear section if it had been produced by the Mon Calamari instead. The Recusant went on to be constructed by the Techno-Union for the Commerce Guild using materials funded by the latter organization, and became one of the most mass-produced ships of the war. Despite this, little else is known of its history, perhaps due to its automated nature. Can't make history if there is nobody aboard interested in writing it down. The class entered service in time to join the Clone Wars almost immediately, but we don't know if the Commerce Guild used it for anything before that, or if it was purely a Clone Wars ship. The Banking Clan used their Munificent-class star frigates to defend their comms network and other assets, as well as harass planets and companies in debt to them, so it's certainly plausible the Commerce Guild did the same with their Recusants. During the war, Recusants were frequently used to raid Republic shipping lanes, and went on to participate in the battles of Seleucami, Camino, Sullust, Umbara, and Coruscant, as well as the genocide of the Night Sisters on Dathomir, and other minor engagements. After the Clone Wars, the vast majority of the Recusants in service were decommissioned, but at least one was found by the Rebel Alliance and put to use in the Civil War. Several more were used by the Corporate Sector Authority for some time as well. And that's everything there is to know about the Recusant-class light destroyer. Please let me know what you think of this ship, and what you'd like to see next in the comments. I'm not sure that examining it more closely really changed my mind on it, but it's not like I hated it or anything in the first place. I mostly just didn't like the way it looks, which is still the case. I will concede that it isn't the worst ship in Revenge of the Sith as I originally posited, though, merely the second worst. I think the actual worst now is the High-Altitude Entry Transport 221, an obscure background ship used by the Republic on Utapau. It was originally designed to be a separatist capital ship, but was scaled down to the size of the LAAT, painted in Republic Red, and given an ATTE main cannon for some reason instead. Very weird choice, and definitely worse than the Recusant. Thank you to the couple of commenters who reminded me of it. But even though my opinion on the Recusant didn't change, it was nice to take a look at it, as I have been wanting to talk about some separatist ships for a while now. Let me know what other separatist ships I should cover in future videos, or what list topics would be good to use some in. This one seems like it would make a fantastic pirate ship, with its droid boarding troops and minute crew requirements. It's been a few months since I did a pirate ship video, so maybe you'll be seeing the Recusant in one of those soon. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. RFC.